I mean, Carter forced Israel to withdraw after their first invasion in 1978. Reagan forced Israel to a ceasefire during the siege of Beirut.
Mm-hmm.
Trump can essentially say, okay, you got to withdraw, or at least you got to have a ceasefire. Otherwise, you risk the tens of billions of dollars of military aid. You risk
Okay.
us no longer, vetoing otherwise unanimous Security Council resolutions. Ultimately, the United States does have the power to force Israel to comply if the United States decides they indeed want Israel to do so and they want an actual agreement with Iran.
All right, so still some hopes there, despite the goings on the past weekend. Thank you so much for your time and insights, Stephen Zunes, professor at the University of San Francisco.
Thank you.
We still have more attacks. You've got Israel aggression in southern Lebanon, which was clearly Iran's red line when it comes to even a ceasefire, even to any form of peace treaty. How can U.S. President Donald Trump keep insisting that there is a very good deal, he's close to a deal? Tehran insists nothing is final, especially with this Israel-Lebanon issue. It seems nowhere near a breakthrough.
Well, certainly certainly Lebanon does have to be a part of any deal with Iran. Uh, Israel seems to be intent on continuing to violate the ceasefire, not just in bombing. And these are areas well beyond the Israeli border in Beirut and up in the Bekaa Valley in the northeastern part of the country. But they're actually advancing in southern Lebanon. They've crossed the Litani River. They've seized the strategic Beaufort Castle that was a flashpoint of earlier confrontations. I mean, the irony is that saying they have to occupy southern Lebanon to stop Hezbollah, when Hezbollah's very existence and their very emergence was in retaliation to an earlier Israeli occupation of southern Lebanon. But ultimately, despite the people arguing that somehow the tail is wagging the dog, the United States does have the power to stop Israel.
Surely
Of
you
course.
have seen several peace deal negotiations throughout your career watching the Middle East. Can you give us your quick 2 cents on what is going on here? This is a time of war, and is this a quote-unquote normal part of a process, strikes happening while diplomatic talks are going in parallel, or is this completely unprecedented?
Well, what we had was a memorandum of understanding that the negotiators had hammered out, and it was looking promising, only to be rejected by the Trump administration, possibly by the Iranians as well. And but this is not unusual. I even remember back during the arms control negotiations between the United States and the Soviet Union, we had a number of occasions where the negotiators thought they had a deal only to be blackballed by the White House and the Kremlin. So this is unfortunate, but unfortunately not untypical. The Certainly the U.S. decision to bomb the radar and other installations in Iran was a provocation, and of course Iran retaliated. What we may be seeing is a low-level war that could go on for some time if there's no resolution. And of course, the main thing will be that the Strait of Hormuz will still be closed.
He said political commentary was making negotiations more difficult, and he urged people to sit back and relax. Meanwhile, another front is heating up. Israel has expanded its operations in Lebanon. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ordered troops to push deeper into the country.
I instructed the IDF to expand the maneuver in Lebanon. Our forces crossed the Litani River. They seized controlled areas. They occupied the Beaufort Ridge. And now, my instruction is to deepen and expand our grip on the places that were under Hezbollah's control.
Washington is now trying to prevent the crisis from spreading further. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has held talks with Israeli and Lebanese leaders. The U.S. has proposed a new de-escalation plan. Now, under it, Hezbollah would stop its attacks, and Israel would hold back from escalating in Beirut. But questions remain. Who stops firing first? And who guarantees that the other side will follow? Now, the war may be in talks, but the missiles have not stopped. The United States and Iran have traded fresh strikes, raising new fears of a wider regional conflict. The latest exchange comes as diplomats try to save a fragile ceasefire that has held since April. But on the ground, the tensions are still boiling.
The soldiers on the diplomatic front have absolutely no trust in the enemy's words and promises. Our only criteria is to achieve tangible results before we fulfill our commitments in return. Until we are certain that the rights of the Iranian people have been secured, we will not approve any agreement.
The U.S. military says it carried out strikes on Iranian military targets over the weekend. The targets were radar and drone command sites in Goruk and Qashem Island. Washington said the operation followed the shooting down of an American MQ-1 drone over international waters. The U.S. said its fighter jets destroyed air defense systems, a drone control station, and 2 attack drones.
I mean, right now we're focused on being postured and prepared to re-engage if we have to.